Jade shared earlier about how um, you can use it to just use networking to make sales and build other relationships as well. And then also just how to emotionally connect with people. So buy low, sell high. Uh, in my opinion, the most powerful investment that you can get in on is relationships with undervalued people. So what do you guys think? What does this mean? How do you like buy low and sell high? You know how to do that with a stock or like with crypto, but how do you do that with a relationship? Jorge?
I think like in college we are all like trying to survive, like kind of poor and everything, but like a lot of the people in this class, our other classes are gonna be like pretty successful.
Yeah.
So that's like a way to like we are I guess buying low, but then those relationships and also ourselves, right? We can help each other along the way because we're gonna have so many influence and opportunities along the path.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. I think that even ties like perfectly in with this next slide. So at BYU, this is one thing that it's a thought I remember having while I was at BYU and thinking, am I right about that? Because it seems like at BYU, a lot of the focus is getting your degree. It's kind of funny. Have you guys ever done the math that if you total up how much you pay for a semester of BYU and then you divide that by each individual class, you'll probably find that each individual class you go to is like a $16 ticket. And yet students are like so happy when class gets canceled, right? Can you imagine like if this was like a movie theater ticket and you're like, oh yay, the movie got canceled. I paid for it, but I don't have to go. I think that's kind of the approach we have with college sometimes, and it's just not strategic. Same with this. This isn't totally true, and obviously a lot of this changes major to major. This is mostly for business majors, I'll say that. But the skills that you develop in college, like very few of them serve you in the real world. You guys already know that. But basically, whatever job you go into, it doesn't matter what you study. Like they'll take you from zero to wherever you're going to be at the job. So let me give this advice to you guys as someone who graduated a few years ago. The most valuable things you get out of BYU are learning about and discovering lots of different niches. So try out lots of different classes. This is something that stuck out to me in the Steve Jobs biography too. That he just like audited a calligraphy class when he was at college, and he says that that single class was like the most important class he ever took because it like made him so excited to develop the Mac, and the Mac's beautiful list of fonts was like one of its first edges that it had on other computers, and that's like the class that inspired it. So poke around. Don't just take business classes, take fun classes. I loved taking weightlifting in BYU. I really liked a photography class. I was in a creative writing class. So just enjoy it, you guys. People are like sometimes so locked in and just like, oh, gotta get the A's, gotta get the major, but it's not the best way to do it. Unless you're trying to like be an accountant or something really, really technical. And then learning how to think critically and how to write well. You guys already know this, but these are really broad skills that will just serve you anywhere, and you really do get them really well out of college. So I know you probably hate your humanities or history class, but a lot of them are serving you in ways that you don't realize. And then last, this is what Jorge just said, but building relationships with powerful future leaders, like that's a big deal. Everybody in this room probably is going to be super successful one day. And, and when Dan's a billionaire, everyone's gonna want to be Dan's friends, and it's not gonna work to be like, hey Dan, I sat across from you, or I sat at another table in business class at BYU, and he'll be like, yeah, everybody wants to be my friend, but right now, like if you develop these relationships with people, you rise with them, and it's kind of like what this last slide said is that college students are like hugely undervalued. This like just because there's so many of them, and you guys don't have a lot of skills or experience yet. Let me show you this. So in my class that I took with William Arnett, this was another student who I never talked to. And I just came across him on social media the other day. Bridger Pennington. He has like almost 30,000 followers. This is the thing that came up. Oh, it wants me to sign in this find a date. Let's, I want to sign in as me. But basically, this post is like, guess the price of Tesla stock in the end of November, and you win a Tesla. I entered in on that. Also, I don't know how he can afford that. It's like really awesome campaign, but he must have like an insane value per person who follows him or something, because I don't know how 5,000 of those comments adds up to whatever cost of a Tesla. But the point is that he's like a really smart guy. I never talked to him though. I just was like in my own little group that I sat with in my marketing class. And I think that this would be awesome. He has like a really popular podcast. So let me give you this controversial statement. You guys know a lot about my clients, and you know that my agency is doing really well. But if I had to lose all of my marketing skill, like I didn't even know what SEO stood for, or I had to lose all of my network connections, I would choose my marketing skill in a second. I really would. Because my network is what taught me those skills. My network is what gets me the clients. My network is what offers me co-founder and teamwork positions. Like relationships with people take a long time to develop, and they're so insanely valuable. And this is one of the questions that I get a lot. So where do you find your clients? Honestly, I don't, except for my nonprofit stuff, I don't actively look for clients. I don't run ads and say, let me do your SEO. And I don't cold call people and say, hey, I can do your social media. This is where I get them. So let me just tell you some quick stories. So Ben Winters, when I was like a sophomore at BYU, my friend was doing his marketing and was like, oh, Ryan, you know how to write. Come help me write for this optometrist's blog. So I did, and then he got tired and he was like, all right, well, you just help with Ben. You know how to do marketing stuff a little bit now, so you do his marketing stuff, and I did. Now, fast forward like 4 or 5 years later, Ben is a consultant to vision therapists. And every time he helps one of these optometrists or vision therapists with their project, who do you think he tells them to go to for marketing help? Like every month I get a new one. It's honestly crazy. Jason Hawks. This is fun. I met him at a party in Provo. He was one of my most valuable clients for a while, and now we're even working together on a couple projects. He's making a lot of money. He lives in Colorado, but in Provo, I one time at an open mic night, I like had this poem prepared, and I got up and I said it. And he was like talking to me. I was like, "That's such a cool poem!" Like, and we just kind of hit it off, and we started hanging out. And then like a year ago, he contacted me again, and we've been doing business stuff. It's been really helpful. Mark Newmiller, I love this picture of him, by the way. He's like all these other like super professional. He's like one of the Backstreet Boys or something here. Mark's really nice though. I met him in the entrepreneurship program, and he heard that I did marketing, and then he got a job doing marketing at Jet Dental, and he said, "Oh, I know a guy who can help us." And then Riley Budd, Ben Osgathorpe's business partner, for those of you who know him. I've been telling you about this co-working space I work at Kiln. It costs like $200 a month. And at first I was kind of like, oh, it's like a lot of money just to have a desk to sit in that isn't at my apartment. But while I was there, I met Riley Budd. And then a few months later, just a few weeks ago, Riley referred a company called RecView to me, who is one of my most valuable Facebook ads clients, just because I see him and I say hi to him when we get water at Kiln, and we sit at the same desk sometimes. So let me hit you with two more. I don't know if you guys know this guy. You guys haven't heard this before, but John and I met at the gym at my apartment complex. Do you remember that first interaction, John?
Of course I do.
How did it go?
It was super random. We were just in the gym. I think we were probably the only ones in there. It's always pretty empty. And Ryan just kind of started talking to me. And then we just kept talking. And I was like, oh, this guy does marketing. Like, I'm into that. I'd love to learn. So I like texted him one day, asked him to like, teach me some stuff. And he did. And he's like, I'm going to be a professor. I'm going to be a TA. And I was like, okay. So that's how it went.
Yeah, and having John as my TA has been so awesome. Like, I can't believe how fortunate that little interaction was. It's funny, just today driving to class, John and I were at the same stoplight, and I was like, hey. And then here's another one. This guy is one of my old mission companions. They run Geo Swimwear, and this company is like a multi-million-dollar company now. It's crazy. And I met him on the mission and kept in contact, and then this is their Instagram. They have 38,000 followers. Fun fact, they started this account and their first sales for their swimsuits were from the follow and follow strategy. I don't know if I shared that with you guys, but that's how they did it. And then one time Jake posted about this and he was like, yeah, our thing has been going really well. So I just DM'd him and I was like, hey dude, that's awesome that you and your wife run a business together. And I was like, I kind of run a marketing thing. And then, and he was like, oh, no way. Yeah. Like we should catch up sometime. So we got on a phone call and now like he comes to me for SEO advice and I go to him to like learn about like his strategies for like suppliers and stuff, just because it's kind of like that modest dress company that Kat and I are trying to do. It's really similar. So it's been like such a valuable relationship. And just because he posted on social media and I followed up. I know that some of you guys are probably more active on social media than others, but if you're looking for clients, guys, this can be so valuable. So like a few months ago when I quit my job to do my marketing agency, I just did this post and I was like, well, when the side gig pays better than the main gig, it might be time to make the side gig the main gig. And then I was like, I love digital marketing. I'm going to be helping with SEO, Facebook, and Google Ads. Got lots of love in the comments and stuff. But since then, like so many people from my network have reached out to me and been like, oh, you know Google Ads, or like, you know Facebook ads. Like, how would you recommend doing this? Or like, could you help me with this? So you don't need to brag about it, but let people know what you're working on. We've talked about this before. So probably just skip past this. We've kind of talked about it, but having a powerful personal network will give you high quality clients. It lets you know what other smart people are doing in your niche. It's an easy place to go for help when you have questions or need advice. And then it's an awesome source of teammates, co-founders, and employees. So where to develop your network? You guys know this. Talk to people you sit by in classes, go to club meetings, info sessions, make friends at church activities, interact with people on social media. Kind of like what Jade and Anna said, like just get talking to people on there. Things come out of those relationships if you just plant the seeds. Weekly seeds. Okay. I wonder if we should do this. Yeah, let's try this. So I'll demonstrate with John really quick, and then we'll like do a little practice, and then maybe we'll just pick up the rest of this network class next time. I think we'll have time. But basically, one thing that can be tricky is like when you have your friend and something that you do or sell can help them, like how do you get into that conversation, right? Because you don't want to just high pressure sell your brother and then have him hate you, or whoever your friend. You don't want to be like, oh, you have a business, let me do your Google ads. So this really isn't too hard to do, but basically you just want to not put on pressure. I'll kind of give you guys an example of how I would do this though. So John's going to help me out, and then you guys can practice this.
Should we be sitting or standing?
I'm probably just standing. And I know that not all of you guys sell marketing services or whatever. So in the practice, if you don't sell that, just kind of pretend like you do. Choose something that you could see yourself selling and do that, or you'll kind of have to figure out how the practice will serve you best. Okay, so we'll just do John's like actual business, and we'll do like my actual marketing. So John, I heard that you are like producing like video content for businesses and stuff.
Yeah. Started a few weeks ago. We're going good.
That's awesome. Yeah, how many clients do you have now?
So we currently have just like a couple because we're just getting started off, but we're definitely looking for more.
Yeah. What are you doing to look for clients?
We've started off just with people like me and my partner already know, just like in our network. So
Yeah.
we haven't done any sort of like searching or marketing or anything.
Okay.
yet.
That's really interesting. But have you ever considered using like email, or like are you guys using social media or anything to find clients?
Yeah, we've definitely considered it, and I think in the future it'll be kind of something we want to do to find more, especially like at first, and then hopefully just get referrals from them.
Yeah. I think that's like a really good way. You know, I have so many people that I've worked with in the past that have that same situation. It seems like email marketing has been really helpful for them.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, just because you can talk to lots of people and you can personalize the messages and just say like, hey, I think that this is a thing that I offer and here's how I think it can help you. And obviously only some of them respond, but it's so affordable compared to other types of marketing.
Compared to like Facebook ads or something, it's
Yeah.
a lot cheaper.
Totally.
That sounds awesome. Because yeah, we thought like maybe we'll run an ad or something, but email would be a little more personal.
Yeah.
Something good.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be worth trying out both, but if you wanted, sometime we should like look into that. I could see if we could find like some businesses that we could send to.
Yeah, dude, that would be amazing.
All right.
That.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, John's like, okay,
John's like,
let's go. So it almost seems kind of silly to practice because it's like so obvious, right? But I know that a lot of the time you can be kind of nervous. What did you see that I did there that kind of led the conversation into a place where John wants to work with me without him feeling like I'm trying to sell him on something? Eric, Annika, and then Camille.
One is you like talked about the sort of like the problems that your service solves, but you also didn't talk about the like pricing and what you're offering, or like didn't talk about specific services that your business offers, but more just like, hey, let's look at this together. I don't expect you to charge for what you just mentioned. But then if he likes it, then oh hey, you can do this too. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Annika?
I think it was good that you gave him a solution and asked if he's tried it himself. And then it kind of led into, oh, well, I could help you with that instead of forcing your business onto him.
Yeah,
You
totally.
made it seem like you cared about his business.
Yeah, kind of like me and him versus the problem rather than like him versus the problem and like let me go against the problem or something like that. Camille?
Yeah, I mean that's literally what he was saying. Basically, just like you almost gave him like solutions without like making him pay. So he talked about email marketing. Like technically, he could go do that himself now, but you just gave him like some insight. So you weren't like gatekeeping all like your marketing secrets.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you're like willing to share, and then he's gonna be more willing to like probably reach out to you in the future. And be like, hey, I remember you saying this. Like, you can help me do that more, and then you can like go into like your services.
Totally, yeah. Almost like
their idea.
Right. And almost like I was giving it to him as if he had already agreed to pay me. I was just like, oh, well, this thing, like, this is how I do it, just giving him free stuff, basically. Okay, so let's practice that. Find someone next to you and tell that person what you're selling and who they are. What if they actually have a business, then you can do that, but you'll have to kind of design the practice a little bit. Do that for a couple minutes and then switch. Do it for a couple minutes, talk about what went well, and then switch.
It's good, bro. Well, I'm selling eco-friendly leggings.
What's up?
Yeah, so
All right, you should be wrapping up the first practice. Alright guys, wrap up the practice, tell them what went well, what went wrong.